We're back on the mic.
We're back on the mic. Nothing can keep us away from the mics, Ian,
Ha-
except, maybe feeling a little sleepy, having a hard day, but nothing besides that.
We've been pretty good lately. Neither of us have missed an episode in a while, actually.
No, I think our biggest reason for missing is surgery, either gallbladder or otherwise.
Yeah. Been a while. Well, please, I don't need any surgery. All right, I'm
No
good.
more
There's
surgery.
enough going on. I don't
We're
need
good.
surgery.
We're
Please.
fine.
Don't
So
even put
we're
that out
back.
there.
A lot to talk about. I've mentioned before how much I love being right.
You do.
And I think the people agreed with me on the database school infrastructure.
Oh.
We had a few dissenters.
We did have a few.
People love to be edgy and love to be, whatever. But I think the standard normal person on this one agreed with me, which feels great. I love that for me.
I would say you're correct. And even here's the thing, even I agree with you. In the end, I feel like I actually came around to mostly agreeing with you in the context of if you're going to do other stuff. See, to me, that's like the big thing. Like,
I thought of another argument though.
Okay.
What if I'm teaching people how to use multiple different schemas? Then it gets real tricky, Like if I'm teaching people how to switch between different ones, and I'm like, go to the users one, but for you, the users is named users _ 1 2 3 4, and for you, you know what I mean?
But wouldn't that be the same with this? You're still gonna have a way to manage multiple schema, whether they're multiple instances or multiple schema in the same database. That's the same thing to me.
Yeah, maybe.
The point is,
I won. The point is,
you did win. I think you won. I think you
That's
won.
fine.
I'm willing to concede you winning. Don't push your luck here with some edge case stuff. Just take the W and move on. So yes,
feels good. Feels good, man.
Did anybody have any feedback? Not just that you were right, but like actual constructive feedback on changes or ideas?
Some people had good feedback on if Fly.io goes away, how to manage this without them.
Okay.
I think Florian and Josh Manders both mentioned that I could set it up with Kubernetes, which sounds terrifying and have zero interest in doing that. So please, Fly, don't go away. Find product market fit so that I can keep relying on you. I think there was one piece of feedback that I could potentially get away with Cloudflare containers doing this, which would be awesome. Keep it in the family. Ian's stock portfolio would love that.
224 right now, baby. 224.
I know. Let's You're go. So happy. But no, nothing really else besides that, except several people saying like, hey, we've done stuff like this. Ephemeral is the way to go and is very helpful. So that was good.
So I guess in that, while we're here, any progress this week on it, or did you wrap it up, or where you at?
Very much progress. So where I'm at right now, so let's see, today's September 15th. So where I'm at right now is the building out the front end to do this whole round trip, editor queries, sending queries, that kind of stuff. And I'm waiting on the brand to come in. So I've been working with 2 different branding companies and waiting on a finalized thing for that. And then I'll be able to apply all of that to the front end skeleton that I've been building out. So the front end skeleton I've been building out is just very vanilla, not designed anything like that. But I'm getting all the routing and stuff in place, like the infrastructure to do that, and then I'll put the coat of paint on it, and it'll look very nice and neat. So yeah, we're making progress. Of course, slower than I would like, but that's kind of how these things go. Yeah, Mr. Outro Man knows exactly what I'm talking about there.
I got a story.
Would love for it to be faster. Would love for it to be faster, but unfortunately,
it's never faster. Never goes faster than you thought it would. Like literally never. That just is an impossibility.
So yeah, we're making good progress. I'm happy with where we're at. Even despite wishing we were further.
Is this a Vue app?
It is. Yes. It's a Vue, Inertia, Laravel. I'm trying to dip my toes into the TypeScript waters.
Ooh. Sounds
it's scary. Not great. It's not great.
I played with it when I went through my React round there, and I was like, well, I didn't even understand what TypeScript is, but let me fold this in. I was like, what? I have to do all this extra work. It's like a ton of
Oh,
extra work, and I'm like, I don't really see that much better from this extra work. So
so much
I don't
extra
know.
work. The new
Yeah,
starter kits are just like loaded with TypeScript stuff, and so I'm doing
yeah,
my best to like not get super left behind. But I ended up ripping out the majority of what the starter kit came with. There's just so much
yeah.
stuff, and I know that like that's probably what the market demands, and Laravel's trying to find the way to
Right.
provide that, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're getting there. I'm trying to use Wayfinder, and trying to like I just don't want to get left behind. I never want to
Yeah.
be on the bleeding edge. I always want to be like a late adopter or a laggard when it comes to, switching up basically everything that I'm doing.
Right.
And it feels like I'm a late adopter or even a laggard for TypeScript now. And it seems like if the mothership is adopting TypeScript everywhere, I need to do the same.
Mm.
But it's just not that great. I'll be honest. I'm not
Yeah.
enjoying it.
No, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't think you have to
No.
follow those. I don't think you have to
Talk
follow them
about
all the way.
TypeScript. I got to get
Yeah.
glucose. My blood sugar's dropping, so we
Oh,
may go crazy here. But
oh,
you talk.
geez.
I'll be
Okay.
right back. I'm still
All right.
listening.
Okay. Yeah. So I never talked to the empty chair before. This is interesting. So, yeah, I think with you don't have to follow them all the way to the edge. I guess would be my first thing. Is like you can, we know what they're up to, but we don't have to necessarily do everything they do. This also makes me think the other thing is I love the starter kits and I love the Livewire starter kit because the Livewire starter kit has like nothing in it. It's really just a very clean Laravel basic kind of starter kit, and you could rip out the Livewire stuff if you don't even want to use Livewire in like 2 seconds, and it's very cool. So I recommend the live and with the Livewire starter kit, what I do, and I'm just doing this weekend. I will update you guys in a bit on that. But it does use a little Volt, and I'm not really a Volt man. I like my Livewire pure. So I just had the AI like change that to from Volt to regular Livewire, which took like 1 second. And then you have like a nice clean empty shell. So yeah, that's my recommendation for the starter kit is kind of no matter what, almost to start with the Livewire one because it's actually like super clean. But yeah,
Jason Beggs told me that there is a version. There's just like a bare bones version
just a
of
blade pure.
yeah. Well, no, of the React and Vue ones that don't come with all the
Oh,
like
bells
UI
and whistles.
components and all of that.
Mm,
It's just like, hey, here's Vue, here's Laravel, here's
okay.
Inertia,
So there's a way to
Tailwind.
do
We're
that.
set up. We're ready to go.
Right.
Which is basically what I ended up doing by ripping everything out. But, here we are. So, man, I
So
don't know
what
if I'm old or like stuff is moving too fast or what, but I'm just like,
yeah.
what? There's so much going on here. I'm looking through the folders and I'm like, oh, is this web development? Because if this is, I don't want to do this anymore.
Well, you're kind of that mindset in general, but yes, like there's a lot going on. This is where I love that I'm keeping it simple in my stuff. It's like HelpSpot's just old school to begin with, even as we updated it in more Livewire way. Livewire is kind of old school in its heart a little bit. And yeah, I don't know. The TypeScript, it's just like I don't get it. Like I don't get it. Like
I
I
don't
get it
get
if
it.
you're on like a big team, great,
Yeah.
fine. But like, I don't know. For your one or two people, I don't know. It's a lot of extra work for I think a dubious amount of value.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel right now. I'm gonna keep pushing because I know a lot of smart people see a lot of value in it. But I'm not smart enough to see it
Yeah,
yet.
I mean, like, just like there's every counter example. It's like, well, they built, Dropbox without it. They built Slack without it. You know what I mean? Like, lots of billion-dollar tools have been built
I
without
know.
TypeScript. So, like, it's like, is it better? Yes, I'm sure it is. Right? I'm sure somebody could come on here and give us all the technical reasons why it's superior. But like, from our take on things, a mostly technical mindset of like, does this make you money? I think is highly
No.
dubious on if
Highly
we look at
dubious.
it through that lens. So
Highly dubious.
yeah,
The model wants to write TypeScript, and so I'm letting it do that.
right. Yeah.
And that part has been
Mm,
nice so far.
yeah.
It's like, hey, I don't really know what this means. You gotta change this part because TypeScript is moaning about something. But
Right.
yeah, we'll see.
What do you do for components with your Vue? Are you using one of the Vue component libraries? Do
I
you just roll
did
your own, like
eventually pull in.
Tailwind?
I asked our friend Claude which one I should use, and I ended up with Reka Reka.
I've never heard of that.
Reka UI. So
Mm.
it's unstyled primitive. So it's very I'm reading from the homepage. Unstyled primitive components. It's very like
Hmm.
Radix,
Okay. Yep.
which is I think Radix does have a
Um,
Vue version, a Vue fork.
Oh,
Um
really?
yeah, but I don't
Uh,
know.
Is
I
it
asked
maintained? You know.
Yeah, I asked Chat over and over, or Claude rather, over and over, like, "Hey, why Reka versus Radix?" And it basically just came out with like more modern, more maintained. So
Mm. Yeah, it looks
I
like
don't
it's
know.
got the stuff, you know, like in this day and age, you just don't want to have to build this stuff yourself, you know. It's like
No, the
not the
thing that
most fun.
eventually made me pull it in was the splitter component. Like I wanted the panels or the panes to be like you
Mm,
could drag up and down and like have the query get smaller and the results get bigger or vice versa.
okay. Mm-hmm.
So it's like drag and drop resizable panes. And I wasn't.
Oh,
There's
I
no
see
way I
that.
was gonna do that. So they
Oh,
have
yeah, I
a.
see. Oh, that's nice. Yeah,
I know, that's what I'm
that's
saying. It's
nice. Yeah.
nice. It's not bad.
This is
So
why I
they
need
call
Flux
it.
to get there. I need
I
Flux,
know.
Caleb. I need you, baby, to get all the parts in there. But anyway, continue.
I know. It's Sisyphean, man. Got to push the boulder up the hill over and over and over. Yeah, the splitter component is very, very nice. And so
Yeah,
I pulled it in for that. And it's, of course, you can adopt as much or as little as you want of these UI, well, at least of this UI framework. And so I think the only thing I've used it for so far is maybe like tooltips, because that's tooltips so finicky, right?
yeah.
Where's it
You
supposed to
don't want to
pop?
build your
I
own.
got a
Yeah.
universal solution. I need it, whatever. And then splitters, this
Mm,
pane adjustable thing. So it's been great so far. So yeah, happy with it.
nice. I
Not
mean, you
really a deep analysis, except that it works and I like it.
you won't have too much like. I mean, you're not gonna have a ton of forms and stuff. I don't think, and I
No,
guess some like billing stuff or whatever, a couple basic
no,
things,
log
but not.
in,
Yeah,
whatever. But
yeah,
nothing super complex beyond that. Like,
yeah. So that's
thank God
good.
I don't think I need a date picker for any
You
reason
know,
whatsoever. I
that's
think
the
I need no
universe.
date pickers.
That's the line. Yes, if you have to get
Oh,
a date picker, you know you're
it's
into
over.
rough
Yeah.
territory. Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, I guess that sounds like pretty. So, is that your main thrust of this week here?
Yep, that's the main thing I'm working on this week. I have it's either October 15th or October 22nd. I don't know which one yet. And there's some confounding variables in there. But I have an introduction to Postgres course coming. So
Okay.
that will be coming on the new databaseschool.com either on the
Nice.
15th or the 22nd, and it will be totally free. And so I think what's going to happen is it'll end up being the 22nd. And I will start doing heavy, promotion just before that. But it
Mm-hmm.
could be the 15th, but there's some contractual things we're trying to figure out there.
Mm.
So Intro to Postgres is coming, and
It's coming.
this will be the first foray into the new, what I'm hoping is the new standard database school style, which is shorter, more focused, more bite-sized, discrete courses. So
Yeah.
this is not, zero to hero for Postgres. This is, you don't really know very much, and I'm going to get you dangerous. And then after that, you can do mastering Postgres or something else, but it's going to be, 2 hours of, hey, you don't know very much. Here's at least a little bit.
I like it. And click this giant ad for mastering Postgres. That's on
That's
every
right.
page. I hope.
That's right.
Yes.
Exactly. And pay me money.
Yes.
That is the dream.
I like it. I think that's gonna work out. Are you gonna do like? Are you gonna do? What's your marketing play here? Are you doing like the video, like the kind of intro video thing? Are you doing
I
other
don't know that
stuff?
I'll do like the cinematic intro video
Mm,
just because that function is no longer at the company. Like
right.
I can't really do that very well, or
Mm,
very easily rather. So yeah, there will be, I'm trying to coordinate it all with like getting some juice out of, yes, intro to Postgres, but also some juice out of database school, the branding, the new home for
right.
stuff. And so trying to push all of that together to be like, hey, this is a big new thing. And the first flagship course is intro to Postgres. So trying to roll it all in together, and then getting the database school podcast YouTube channel and the database school YouTube channel both set up so I can start doing dedicated, database content over there. So kind of doing the whole thing all together to make the empire unified is the
It's a lot
goal.
going on, man. There's a big push. Big
It's a big
push.
push. Got to do it.
Man, big push. Holy cow. Yeah. You should like schedule some time off.
So interesting you say that.
Mm,
So this past weekend, Jennifer had like a girls trip that for
mm,
whatever reason got canceled, and I was like,
okay.
hey, you gotta do something.
Right.
And so she went on a staycation here in Dallas with
Mm.
a friend who was also supposed to go on that girls trip.
Oh, nice.
And so she was gone, like, it ended up being much shorter than it was supposed to be, but she was
Right.
gone, like, Friday to Saturday, Thursday to Saturday, something like that. I don't remember. Kids got sick, nanny got sick. I'm at home with sick kids. Brutal.
Okay.
But it was okay. It actually ended up
Okay.
being like the weekend ended up being, she came home Saturday late afternoon, and it ended up being fine. Her parents helped, my parents helped. Everything went fine. But during that time, I thought, like, oh man, it would be nice to get away, like for me to get away. This seems nice. I want to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be nice to get away, but with the like sole purpose being like have some thinking time. So I started
Mm.
looking at, there's a place near Texas called Broken Bow, Oklahoma, which is like,
Ooh.
I don't know, 3, 4, 5 hours away, something like that,
Okay.
drivable.
Ooh.
And it's a little more secluded. They've got a bunch of these hipster doofus Airbnb cabins out there
Nice.
that
Yeah.
are all shiplap, and then in the kitchen there's a sign that says kitchen in case you forget
Right.
where you are. It's like, kitchen, coffee. It's like, why do we need signs for things that are
I
self-evident?
love it.
Anyway,
Mm.
um I started looking at a bunch of those, and I think I'm gonna get like 2 nights away in the middle of the week, so it's not overly burdensome on
Mhm.
Jennifer. 2 nights away to go be like completely unplugged. I'm gonna brick my phone before I go out there, so it's gonna
Good
be
idea.
a little bit of
Little
monastic torture,
detox.
yeah, but a
Right.
little bit of detox. And try to think through like, what do I want out of life?
Oh,
So,
man.
I
The
got
big
2 days to
ones.
figure that out, but hopefully we
On
can
the
make a
clock.
little bit of progress. Yeah. But
Oh,
yeah, I think I'm
boy.
going to do that. I might even do that before the course launches, like
Oh.
next week or something,
Oh, oh,
just
whoa,
to like,
okay. Yeah.
what, whoa, let's just sit back and think for a second. We'll see. I don't know. It's coming up
Yeah.
soon, so we'll have to make that decision pretty quickly. But yeah, that's the plan. Get away for just a little bit, unplug,
Okay.
and have some time just to, look into the wilderness and see what looks back.
I mean, like, these days, I even like a long drive, just like that.
Oh,
It's a
love a long
drive,
drive.
like queue up an audiobook and some podcasts and just like you could probably down there, you could hit a Bucky's,
Oh,
whatever. You just like
totally.
cruise, and like get to where you're going, hang
Yep.
out. Yeah. I like it.
Yep.
That's a good play.
Love a long drive. Love a long solo drive.
So I was gonna say by yourself. That's the key part. Yeah.
Yes,
A bunch of people
totally.
yelling at you from the back is not
No,
not
no,
as
no, that's
relaxing,
fine.
but
A drive with Jennifer's great too, because she falls asleep
that's
almost
fine.
immediately. And it's like, okay, well, I guess this is on me now.
Right.
But drive with kids, no, that's not relaxing. But yeah,
Nah.
solo drive. Whew,
All right.
can
All
you
right.
imagine?
Man. All right, let's do an ad. You're up. Do an
I'm
ad.
up. This segment brought to you by Aaron's glucose tablets. Thanks for saving me from type 1 diabetes.
Oh
Also
my
brought to
gosh.
you by Native PHP and Bifrost. Native PHP is the fastest way to build mobile applications and ship them to users on Android and iOS. And Bifrost is their new build service. You can build with Native PHP and distribute with Bifrost. Plans start at $19 a month, and all subscriptions get a free Native PHP license, so you can start building right away. So if you're trying to build with Native PHP and need a build pipeline, check out Bifrost. You can find that at bifrost.nativephp.com. Links in the show notes as always. Also brought to you by our friends at honeybadger.io. Move fast and fix things with all-in-one application monitoring for Laravel, Rails, and more. So thank you to our friends at Honeybadger. You can find them at honeybadger.io. And they were one of the emissaries from the Rails community at Laracon. I got to meet one of the founders there. He just came to
Yes.
hang. So super fun.
Yeah.
Thanks to Honeybadger and Native PHP for sponsoring this show.
What a professional you are. It's like
You
there's a
know,
little text in the native PHP ad that should have been removed. It was stuck in there because SQLite is kind of annoying, blah blah.
yeah,
And you skipped right over that. just like you're
Not
supposed
just a
to.
pretty face, Ian. Got a
No,
little bit of skill
damn,
here.
so impressed, so
Look at that.
impressed. Oh boy, all right. Let me do my big one. We'll do the big ones.
Let's
We
do a
never
big
do the big
one.
ones first. We always
Let's do
bury
it.
the leads.
I know. We got to do a
But
big one.
we're doing the big ones. We did the database school. Now we're gonna do the outro.
Let's do it.
All right. Okay, we got a lot to talk about.
I love the false start. That means there's a
yeah.
lot coming. That means
All
there's a
right.
whole lot coming.
There's a lot coming. First, a small update, which is I met for the first time with the Focus Lab people who are
Okay.
big wig designers doing the logo and branding and those things. And they got the whole team was there, and Bill Kenny, who I've known for like 15 years, and like all the people. It was great.
All this for a little old outro.
I know it's mostly
That's
for the show. Let's be honest.
That's
It's
awesome.
just for the show.
Focus
so next
Lab.
week we might have do a little share screen, which we've barely done on here, and I can show some like I don't know if we're just getting like a mood boardy thing or we're getting an actual sketch, but whatever.
You never know with these branding people. They're like, we're gonna send you over a touchy feely, and you're like, what's a touchy feely? And they're like, don't worry about it. It's a very important part of the process.
They actually do have a schedule. I could look, but I'm not gonna look. We're just gonna wing it and see what they send. But
Focus Lab.
Anyway, so that went very cool and good and whatever. Great. But like middle of last week, early last week, so here's the thing. I haven't worked on it as much as I'd like to, and there's a lot of reasons, but part of it, this isn't the main reason, but part of it is I've had it's a little back of my brain, little like chipping, little thing talking to me, right? And so I started poking around because the thing that's kind of bothering me is like, outro is a tool. The tool parts of it, I'm totally good on. I want this right now. Like organizing the episodes, the mailbag, selling sponsorships, all that stuff's good. But the memberships, okay, are eating at me. And so I went over to Patreon, which is sort of the closest thing.
What part is eating at you before you go to the discovery?
I'm gonna get to that. It's gonna be clear in a second. So I go to Patreon and I look at their terms of service. I'm poking around, right? I'm looking at their community guidelines. The community guidelines are like 500 pages long, right? And it's like all this stuff about like pornography, threats, firearms, whatever, all the stuff, right? All the bad stuff, intimidation, extortion, blackmail, all the things. Right. And this is the part that's eating at me. Partially in our current political environment, but even just in general, do I want to be the guy,
the arbiter?
Being the arbiter of, does this cross the line of, is this too far on violent rhetoric or whatever? Like, I don't know that I want to be that guy, and
I don't want you to be that guy. And you don't want you to be that guy.
That's, I think, the thing that's been eating at me. It's like, because it's like, people are going to be able to comment. So now you just have random internet. It's like, there's like the two levels. There's like the actual customers of Outro who are sending stuff, which will have to be policed, obviously. And then there's the people commenting on the stuff those people write, which is its own level of stuff.
Right.
And it's like, do I want to do that? And it's like, there's a different level even of like, you use it as a tool and maybe you use it for things I don't care for. And I just have to be okay with that, right?
Maybe somebody runs a TypeScript podcast using Outro.
And that would super annoy me, right?
That would be awful. I hate it. So is that hate speech? I don't know. I hate it. Yeah.
But it's like, they're just using it as a tool. I'm not the face of their TypeScript stupidity, right?
Right.
Whereas if I have this membership thing in Outro, it's like all the public links are like outro.fm/whatever bad thing, right? And like all that stuff. And like, this is a side project, and I want it to be fun, and I want it to make money, but I also don't want it to make my life more miserable. And, if I was a VC back thing, that would also be different. I'd hire a previous moderator who was the moderation lead at Facebook, and I'd be like, build out your team, and we're going to have other people who deal with all this terrible stuff. And that's not going to be directly on me to look at every day and make these decisions. But that's not the case on. So it's just going to be literally me in there being like, I don't know. What do I think about this? What do I think about this terrible thing this person said or whatever? And like,
don't like that one bit.
Yeah, I don't think I want to do it. Right. So like,
that puts you in the Shopify, the Cloudflare, the Squarespace. That puts you in all of those positions where you're like, you can have my platform or you can't, but either way, it's gonna suck for me to make that call. Like if I deplatform you, that sucks. If I leave you on, that sucks. What are we doing here?
It's a no-win type of situation. And like, obviously, I know that like 95% of the people using it, it's gonna be totally fine. It's not gonna be an issue. but it's like the weight of that 5% is
Right.
heavy, And so that's where I think I'm coming. I talked to like Justin Jackson a little bit about this as well, and like what they do. But again, they're more like
Yeah,
in the tool. I think
would
they
he
he,
host a TypeScript podcast, for
right.
example? Like, do they make
I
calls like that?
this is a genius little analogy here we come up with. But I think he said I didn't get like into super specifics with him, but it sounds like they kicked a few people off.
Mm,
But like, obviously there's like the ultra extreme. Like if you just have a bunch of swastikas on your stuff, right? Well, I'm not gonna feel bad about kicking you off. And
sure.
that's gonna be very straightforward. But it's gonna be all the other stuff that is not so easily defined, right? That's much harder. And so, so he said they have done a few, but they don't basically aren't like digging around looking for it, right? And it's like
Hmm.
the host again is like it's similar to how outro minus membership is, where it's like this is a tool. Yes, your podcast may be hosted on there, but it's not the face of your podcast.
Right.
It's not obvious that you're hosting them. It's not like there's not a bunch of dissertations posted under the transistor.fm
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
domain
yeah,
with a
yeah. I
bunch of
see.
bad stuff. So
Yep,
so
yep,
they're
yep, yep,
not like
yep,
it's not
yep.
in their face that much, right? So that's kind of where I'm thinking I want to be too. Like I want it to be a useful tool. Maybe I don't make as much money, but you know what? I don't need, as much money. It's like the money versus stress like ratio
Right.
has to be correct, right? And yeah, so I think my current plan is kill the membership stuff. It can always come later too, right? It's like
Sure.
here's a big new feature we have. It's like memberships, great. Like and that's awesome. So that's a kind of biggish change to my original vision. But I think
Hmm.
it's one I'm going to make because as I look through, even like I looked through like some of the mail providers, like whatever, I looked at a bunch of
Hmm.
terms of service for how people
Hmm.
handle this stuff. And like there's a lot of stuff in there that's like obviously they've had to deal with this stuff. And I'm
Right.
like, I don't want to deal with this stuff.
So
So yeah,
I agree. Let me
yeah.
ask a clarifying question.
Mm,
Does it change if the membership stuff is all private? So like if there's no
mm,
ability for, you to post a TypeScript dissertation or manifesto on
right.
outro.fm/TypeScript/manifesto. If it's just like
Mm,
you can email your podcast subscribers or your members rather, you can
right.
email your members. That's kind of it. There's no
Yeah,
like message board or place,
right.
there's no place for them to all gather and talk about how they're gonna, destroy JavaScript or something.
Right.
Does that change anything?
So I
It's flawless. It's
I think it
flawless.
would. It is flawless. It's absolutely
Everybody's
flawless.
hearing exactly what they want to hear, which is
Yeah,
my only
it's
goal.
so great. So yes, I think it would, right? Like I do think I would feel better about that than because it's not like so much uh totally randos on the internet could just be linking over to this, right? And causing
Under
chaos,
Ian's
right? Under
brand.
my
That's kind of,
domain,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So I do think so. I do think it's worse product though. I guess that's kind of
Yeah.
my bigger issue with that. Is like to me, like letting people have a public element to it helps them draw people in through other
Right.
channels, which then helps them get members, which then help like all that stuff builds on itself. So it feels a little half-assed, I guess, to do it that way. But I'm not totally opposed to that. I mean, I did think about some things along those lines. I guess to me, then what I kind of came down on was like, I'd rather not do it at all for now. I buy myself time. I see if the like core tool and idea is people like it. Cause maybe nobody even likes this, right? So without the membership stuff, I can ship faster, which is good.
That's good.
It's simpler. Um, do people even like this? Maybe nobody even wants to use this. And then I don't need to have a membership part on top of the other thing because if nobody even likes the base functionality, they don't need a membership. Then maybe I should build a separate membership thing to compete directly with Patreon or whatever, which I'm
Yeah,
not
I
going to
think the
do.
only thing
But
you've proven
like,
there is that they don't like the base tool, not that they
right,
wouldn't need a membership thing. But yes.
right. Yeah, right. But I viewed it as like the base tool is what gets you in. And then the memberships are like kind of the next layer. So like, if you don't like the base tool, I feel like that hurts the memberships also. Like, well, if I
Probably.
can't even get people to use the base tool, when are they gonna they're not gonna even find out about the memberships, right? And all that stuff. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking there. And mostly on the buy me more time because you know what? I can ship the base tool and
Yeah.
then I can anytime add memberships and be like, now we have memberships, big release, yada yada yada. It's always
Yep.
good to have those kind of things anyway, right? So
Yeah.
keeps me from procrastinating and building more stuff. It's definitely the most complicated thing to build. So yeah.
That the most compelling argument to me is it allows you to ship the base tool faster. I think that's
Yeah.
great. Ship it,
Yeah.
get it out there. Let's start using it. Other people start using it. Should you get to the point where you do try members, I wonder if to enable any sort of like public member engagement, discussion, whatever, they have to set up a custom domain. That further
That's
insulates
interesting.
you as the brand from like,
Yeah.
let's go read this manifesto on iansdomain.com. It's
Right.
like, I don't like that. But if they can do private member stuff without doing a custom domain, but if you want to turn on, I don't know what you have in mind, like discussions or podcast
Right.
episode
Kind of
feedback,
comment on the posts and things like
then
that.
it's got to be your domain or
Yeah.
podcast.yourdomain.com or whatever. So
Yeah.
I don't know, something to consider. But I like that being said, ship it without members first, 100%.
That's the other thing. It's like maybe on the flip side, people love it, the base tool, and I sell that and for money, and I never even build members, and it's fine, right? And it's
That's
like
the dream. Not
that's the
building
dream.
stuff,
I now have
getting paid to not build
I do
stuff.
less work. It's a simpler tool with less
That's
stress
awesome.
and make money. That'll be cool too, right? So okay. So now we have
here we go.
one more
Part
follow-on
2.
for this. Are you sitting down? You gotta sit down for this one. So
I'm always sitting down when we do this, but yeah, even more so now.
All right. So then I was like, all right. So I'm in this new mindset. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna tighten it up. I'm gonna kind of go with the original vision because the membership was also added later as I got into like, monetization of it and blah blah. Like the core vision was always like the organizing episodes tool and the mailbag and the sponsorships. Like basically our stuff, the stuff we use. Like that was always the core.
Yep.
I have I built it out once, right? And it's got some stuff everywhere. And it's like, I don't know. And now that I built it once, I kind of see how I would do things differently, And so I had the Laravel New it this weekend, man. I had the Laravel
you
New
started from scratch.
Laravel New.
And
it's so appealing, the Laravel New.
We haven't even
it's just
shipped
right there.
anything yet.
I know, but it's so clean when you do the Laravel New and it's just empty and it's virgin and the whole world's in front of you, You can just anything's
all this
possible.
Time, you've been business dad. You might be developer dad. That's a total developer move. That's awful.
Because it's like I know so much more about how I develop with the AI now. I know how much we have Laravel Boost, which I didn't have at the beginning of this. Yeah, so now obviously I didn't like delete the other stuff. So maybe this Laravel New path won't work out. I don't know. I'll go back.
With the cutting of memberships, 2 steps forward. Laravel New, 3 steps back. We're not getting closer.
But maybe we are. Maybe we are because I have a clear vision for those parts I've already built. I see the rough spots.
Is this how you feel every week when I tell you my plans?
Yeah, this is what makes me a no man.
This is crazy. This is crazy,
right?
This is crazy. This is crazy. Okay.
I'm speechless. Aaron's never speechless. I can't believe you're
this is crazy. This is crazy.
And so my other
I'm glad I was sitting down.
See, since I know how I like to build with AI now. I'm doing the whole thing totally different because you got to if you're Laravel doing it. I'm like speccing the whole thing, like everything. Deep AI build spec. I'm going way down. So right now I'm at a top level spec. And I'm going to go then have sub specs for each part. We're going to spec the whole thing. I'm going to read it over. We're going to go through it. We're going to refine it. I'm going to try different models, different people, whatever. Get it all perfect, hopefully, and then build it. So we're going to go old school Microsoft style. Like we're building Excel here.
Fantastic waste of time. But
here's a 500-page spec on what we're doing, right? We're going Microsoft on it. But I like building with AI that way. So I feel like the AI does a better job when you have the tight spec. So this is motivating me to do it that way. And so, I'm sure once you actually build it, of course, you get whatever. I'm going to make changes and all that stuff. But I don't know. I kind of like the idea of like it can see it has the whole picture, right? Like it can see everything. It's all written out, not it trying to. One of the problems I've had with AI building is as the app gets bigger, it's not using AI for everything, right? It's not actually shoving the whole app into the model and being like, look at this thing, right? So instead, it's doing a bunch of old school stuff of regexing crap and being like, let me just grab little chunks and hope I can piece it together. And I feel like it misses stuff like fairly often where it's like, oh, it just didn't happen to grab that file. And so now it doesn't know anything about that. And so now it's done something
implemented
incorrectly.
The same helper function again because you didn't look around. Yeah.
So I think I don't know. This is all experiment. We're going to see. But I feel like it having a spec where it has the whole thing in its brain before it does anything is going to be useful both initially, but then also as we get deeper into it, it will have the whole thing always in its context of like what it's supposed to be doing. And then it can just fill in the gaps, of actual code by going and do its little regex stuff. But that's my theory.
Okay. I don't like this one bit, but I hope it works out great for you.
Yeah, there we
I hope it
go.
moves quickly. I hope it moves quickly.
Yes. Oh, it's going to move quickly. I expect it to be done
Yeah.
very soon. Very soon.
I expect to get an update next week. Yes.
There'll definitely be an update next week. I can promise
Okay.
that.
All right.
beyond that.
Well, all right. Well, it is nice to have a clean room to do the thing right this time. I totally get that feeling.
Yep.
The spec thing seems like a slog to me. No interest in writing out a spec like that. Just zero interest whatsoever. I'm much more of like a kind of like a guess and check. Like, let's do a chunk, like expand, contract. Let's do a bunch of stuff, refine it down. Bunch of stuff, refine it down. The like giant spec up front is not something that I, for better or worse, not something that I have done or liked doing. So that'll be interesting.
I'm the same exact way. Like, I'm very visual with these things. I feel like I need to see the interface. I don't even know what I want it to do until I see the interface for doing it.
Correct.
And then
Yes.
right. So I don't think I could actually do this if I hadn't already basically built it once. I think I wouldn't be able to do it because I would build this whole big spec and it would be totally wrong. And I'd start building it. And I'd be like, it's all totally wrong. And I don't like how any of this is working. But since I have built it once, I feel like I actually, now it's not even, I'm mostly just describing a lot of what I already did, but with different tweaks and modifications and some different interconnections that now I see I would prefer to have. And so having done the first pass is greatly informing this. So it's not quite just a let's sit down with a blank piece of paper and spec it out type of spec, which is very useful in that regard. So
I'll give you I'll let it slide. This one time I won't even call for comments. I won't put out a call for comments.
No, you gotta comment.
I'm not gonna do that to you. No, I'm not
comment
gonna
on YouTube, message us on the internet, social media platforms, do it all. Comment.
But you're standing at the precipice of a mistake. I will say that.
Being at a mistake.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
we'll see. The proof will be in the pudding. We'll see how much you get, how much the spec moves you forward, how quickly, whatever. But we'll see. I will say I'm happy for you. I love starting over. That's a blast. Terrible idea.
You're
terrible idea.
Platform, right?
Oh,
you're in the middle of the
me.
rebuild.
I know. It's a terrible idea, but it is a blast.
Yeah,
so
it is a blast. Which is part of this. Outro has a lot of different purposes. Part of it is much like you were talking about, staying on not the bleeding edge, but the staying up to speed with what's going on. This is outro for me. Is how do I stay up to speed on what's going on? The AI development, Flux, Laravel, blah blah. So like, this is all part of that. So I like that. Yeah. And I feel like with the smaller scope, that helps it. I think it's all going to be doable. I think it's going to be okay. Or it won't be. I've built things and trashed them before. So it's
either way,
possible.
It'll be good content. That much we know.
It'll be good content. I'll have a great logo. Will I have something to put it on?
A great
We don't know. Right. but
if our stats are any indication, people love when we fail. They love those episodes. Those are the best. So far, it's been mostly me, but they love those episodes of when we fail.
Outro in the toilet will be the top episode for sure.
That's a good title.
Yeah,
that's a good title.
Oh, jeez. All right, what else is going on? We got outro. We got some old stuff. Do you want to catch up on some old news? I hate old news.
Let's do a little, but let's pay a bill first.
Oh yeah, we got a bill to pay. Let me tell you, this week brought to you by Bento. The email marketing and CRM platform teams actually love. Send your product, marketing, and transactional email with Bento. One app, all your marketing needs. BentoNow.com. Jesse Hanley, super friend of the show. Great guy, great product. Check that out. I will be signing up for Bento shortly because so we have these people on a mailing list in Outro who want to hear about Outro.
Mailing list.
They're now in a feature that will no longer exist. So I need to move them out of Outro V1, right, into something else so I can actually email them, which is kind of cool because now I'll actually be able to email them since I never actually built that part. So I will put them in Bento and I'll be able to use Bento for the first time, which I'm very excited about.
There you go. It's going to
Yeah.
make the ad reads even better somehow.
I'm now going to be a customer, and
That's
you're going to be
right.
a customer. We're both like, I mean,
Mhm.
his ad is paying for itself. It's
Just through
unbelievable.
us. Yeah.
Yes,
Just through the hosts.
just the lifetime value, what he's put in versus what he's going to get out from us. It's paying for itself. So just advertise with us to expose us to your products.
Mhm.
We will then purchase them. There you go.
There you go.
Simple.
And that is a promise. If you advertise, we will sign up and use
That's
your
a
product.
promise.
Yeah,
That is a
guaranteed.
promise.
Just like everything on here is financial and medical advice.
Okay. Well, I don't know. What do you want to talk about? I have a couple things, but you have a couple things here too.
Let's do a little bit of Rails world, DHH world recap. So,
Oh boy. Okay.
yeah, got to keep it. let's lower the blood pressure. Let's keep
Well,
it
lower it.
benign. Yeah,
Just a little
calm
bit.
down.
Yeah.
Here we
Nothing
go.
controversial. Mhm.
Nothing controversial. We don't have the emotional bandwidth for that this week. So, first of all, Rails World looked like a great success. Big,
Okay.
that's their Laracon. Looked like great success, a lot of fun. I watched the DHH keynote, which was just, of course, just so fun, so wild, so crazy. I just love him to death. He just gets up there and rants, and then he installs Omarchy on stage
I was going to say,
live.
did
And
it
I'm
have
like,
any Rails stuff in it or
what the
no?
heck is going on here? Yeah, it had a
I
lot of
assume
Rails
it
stuff
didn't.
in
Oh,
it.
did it? Okay.
Yeah. So what I found very cool was just, I think one of the things that they talked about was database for everyone. So they have this new tenancy concept, first party tenancy in Rails, which
Okay.
has historically been rebuffed by Taylor and the Laravel framework. Taylor's always like, what do you mean multi-tenancy? Like, I don't understand what you're asking. People are always asking. And he's
That's
like, show me
exactly
what you
he
mean.
says.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's like, I don't know what you mean. And so Rails now has a first party tenancy, multi-tenancy thing. I think they call it, I wrote it down here, Beamer. No, that's something different. That's something different. I lied.
Okay.
It is similar. So they have a multi-party or multi-tenancy first party thing that uses discrete SQLite databases per user.
Okay, so
or
the
per, like, tenant.
multi-database per user
multi-database
scheme of it.
approach. Yeah.
Okay.
So presumably they're doing something to, like, handle, automate migrations across all these different SQLite files, whatever you would hope.
Not a good solution.
Hopefully that is part of the first party thing.
Yeah.
But they have also apparently written Beamer, which is a I think it's like a SQLite. It's either a SQLite backup or a SQLite replication tool to, like, basically help automate some of the failovers and backups of all these, many thousands of SQLite files. So not I'm kind of with you on the head shake there. This is not my favorite approach of having, like, hundreds of databases that I'm responsible for. Like, if I could do this on, like, I think Terso does a multi-tenancy thing, that's that's fine. I'm okay with that. But what I found really interesting is this push back towards simplicity, SQLite, the one person framework, the in-house tooling. Like, that's been their story for, that's kind of always been his story, but especially the past 3, 4, 5 years, it's like, we got to simplify this whole thing. All of this stuff is a mess. And it's nice to see people, like, picking up SQLite in a serious way and pushing some tooling forward for that. So I'm curious to see where it goes. I think it's very interesting. I don't personally want to manage the multi-database thing.
I'm not sure if that's the simplest solution is the issue.
It's definitely not the simplest. It might be the most effective. And those are not always the same.
Different trade-offs there, yeah.
And one of the things he was talking about was, like, something that is definitely correct, which is basically the further your database is from the user, it imposes a tax on everything. And so if you have a tenant that is an Australian tenant, they can put their database in Australia, and you don't have to come back to US East 1 to, like, read out of that database. And so that was that is a compelling argument. I don't know how common that is. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of weird assumptions there that are definitely not true. So I haven't watched the thing, but, like, I mean, that only works if the app server is also in Australia.
Sure.
So I don't really get, like, if I have this centralized Rails app, but I just have tenant per database. I mean, even if I do some crazy magic to put the database somewhere else, it's not going to be any faster. So I
No,
don't
no,
know.
no. I think the assumption is
You're going to
you've
stack
got
the
app
app up
servers.
in
Yeah, you've
all
got
over the
app
place.
servers all over
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
place, and regardless of if your app server's down the
Also, it doesn't
street, if your
seem
database is
simpler.
across the country,
Right, of course.
you're hosed.
Yeah. I
So
mean, we do all
it's
this for
interesting.
HubSpot. It's like we have 2 regions with 2 separate app stacks, and we have 2 database servers with failover in each of those regions, and blah, blah, like, um, and we do database per customer.
In what?
Um,
MySQL?
yeah, in
Yeah.
MySQL, so each of them have their own database with their own user. So
Mhm.
it's the way SQLite works, I feel like you're not getting some of the, like, security benefits of doing this because 'cause you're just, like, connecting as the app always. So, like, you still have a lot of, like, I could potentially jump into someone else's database and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I guess. I feel like it is more complicated to me, like, to actually manage hundreds of databases where, is more work than one for sure.
Yeah, and I don't know who's
So I
eating
don't
that
know.
complexity. I don't know if that
Yeah,
is in this Rails tenancy
maybe
thing
it's
or if
trying to
you're
smooth it
yeah.
over,
I have to
I guess.
imagine if they're doing a first party multi-database tenancy thing, they have an answer for schema migrations. There's no way that
Yeah.
would be an oversight like
It's
that.
not even just the migrations though, it's like just weird stuff that happens with databases, right? Like, oh, this one is huge and like now I gotta do it's like there's
Yeah,
just
maybe.
weird stuff and like but yeah, I mean, it does have its benefits for sure. Like when you're on one database, you have the reverse problems, of course, of
Yep.
one tenant that is using all the resources and
Right.
blah blah blah. And I do think like nobody builds apps this way, right? So like maybe it's partially because of the tools potentially, but I do think like nobody building a SaaS app ever does anything but like I put the ID column in every table and
I get a
I
huge
do it that
effing
way. Right.
database and I fill it with
That's
everyone's data.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's like literally what
Yeah.
everybody does, right?
Yeah.
I was like,
That's my
HubSpot's like
preferred method
one of
for
the only
sure.
apps I know that does it as it is definitely in like enterprises, it's more of a thing, and things like that, like internal tools and things like that. But
And data
I don't know.
sovereignty.
Yeah, there is some of that going on now. But again, you need the whole stack. So it's not really like the simpler solution for the small team. It's like, well, now I have 2 whole environments that are completely separate and
And to be clear, I don't
isolated
know that
and
anyone is claiming it's the simpler solution.
yeah.
It's just
Okay.
a
Just a
solution.
different
Yeah.
solution, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, did they is part of this also a traditional SaaS database multi-tenancy layer thing or
I
no?
don't know
Or it's
Rails
just tied to the
multi
SQLite?
tenancy. I don't know if it's yeah, I would have to do more reading. The thing that caught my eye was the SQLite combo with Beamer.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
yeah. Oh, that's cool.
37 signals Beamer. Let's see if I can get a read on what
Beamer.
Beamer is. Nope. Let's try Rails World Beamer. Nope, not fast enough. Oh well. Well, here we go.
Oh,
Here's a
SQL
tweet.
replication,
Yeah, here we go. Kevin McConnell, lead programmer at 37 Signals, introduces Beamer, a lightweight replication tool that makes it easy to add read-only replicas to your SQLite databases. Oh, that's cool. Read-only replicas. Multi-server, geographically distributed Rails applications powered by SQLite. Interesting.
yeah, I guess it's alright. I
Meh.
just
Meh.
it's fine. I love the idea of every customer on their own database. It does solve a lot of things, but there is just a lot of other things that, like, with an actual production workload that it is are complicated.
It's
Like,
just shifting complexity
it is
around.
shifting it a little bit. It's like, well, when the server goes down or, something happens on Friday at midnight, like, now I can't just have an auto failover thing. Now I have to figure out how I fail this thing over. Yes, I have this read replica backup, but, like, I have to make it, in SQLite, I can't just, like, make it the master. I have to, like, move stuff around presumably or whatever, and,
Presumably,
like,
Beamer will handle some of that
yeah, I
loop
may do some
promotion and
kind of,
stuff.
like,
Yeah.
copy the data back, I guess, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of the thing with databases, like, you kind of want I don't know. This is my take on it, is just, like, I want to be able to, like, be kind of in the mainstream of, like,
Yeah.
people know what this is, how it's I've set it up the way everybody sets it up, and hence people can help me, and which isn't I mean, I've personally experienced that not being true, but at least in theory, ostensibly, it's true, and you have to hit the real super edge case, which of course I did, to, like, be outside the norm, whereas, like, most issues you're gonna have with scaling or just usage issues in general, like for MySQL or Postgres or whatever, like everybody's hit them before. There's going to be a million blog posts. There's going to be all these dedicated services that make it better, like all this stuff. Whereas, if you're on your own with SQLite doing something kind of
Yeah.
special, you're on your own. I don't know. But for small
Yep.
stuff, it's super nice because it's like less cost and easier kind of setup and all that get going quick. That sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where that goes. There's a lot of energy in SQLite right now, and I think that's gonna be fun to watch over the next year or two. You get a small victory lap, and I will implore you to contain yourself. Tell us about
uh,
once.com.
once.com. RIP once.com.
RIP once.com.
Yeah, I guess the DHH and his crew have open source Campfire, which we
Mm-hmm.
did a whole big episode on this and multiple episodes that people can go back and listen to. But basically, the premise was that, I mean, my biggest issue was never that they did this. They wanted to sell Campfire as a one off product. Fine, great. I literally couldn't care less. But there was a lot of marketing puffery, right? A lot of boistering about how IT departments, they don't want to use hosted tools anymore. They just want to download their own software and run it. They just want to pay one time. They don't want support. They just want to have full ownership of the code and do what they want. This was the whole premise. And then people bought it in the beginning. I presume to see DHH's code, which nobody's ever been able to see, DHH kind of production code. And appears nobody ever bought it after that because they've just open sourced
It
it.
does appear that way.
And which is what it should have been to begin with, because if you want to have the Slack competitor, it's only going to work if it has some kind of community. Nobody wants to buy a thing that you are stating is unsupported. Like, it's just, there's
Correct.
no use case for this.
Yep.
So at least if it's open source, maybe a community builds around it and you start to get some traction and maintainers and there's releases. And if there's a problem, at least there's some place I can go to and say, hey, I have this problem. Even if it's people who just, don't have to fix it, but at least there's a place I can go complain about it. And that all makes more sense to me. Do it as open source. I like it. Great. I still don't think anybody's going to use it, but if there's any hope of it being something, I think this is the right path. So good on them to throw in the towel. They did not remove all the marketing puffery from the once.com homepage, which says IT departments hate SaaS and don't want to use it anymore. But whatever, maybe we'll get to it.
Maybe we'll get there. They probably got a lot going on. I will
They
say
probably have other stuff to do.
this seems like a swing and a miss. Like they and here's my take on it. I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. They put out this big manifesto, as they are wont to do. And it happens that like the market did not support the thesis, and that's fine. I don't think the manifesto is overwrought in any way. I think they're like staking out, this is what we believe in and we're trying to convince you, and it didn't work. And that's okay to me. Like, it's okay. It's okay to me that they tried to convince people of a thing with like strong pros, and then they were super wrong about it. I'm actually okay with that. I'm totally fine with that, actually. Especially since they walked it back. Especially since they were like, hey, it didn't work. It's open source.
They never really do anything quite like that. I wouldn't say that they came out and said this was a failure. We swung and missed. It was a little more, hey, it's open source now. Great. Like, we're not going to dwell on the past here or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, I think it is overwrought because it was very clear to anybody who works with IT managers that what they're saying was like literal gibberish and
I don't see
not
the IT
based in
manager
reality.
thing in here at all. I just see them talking about you used to own stuff and now you don't. Where's the IT? Oh, plus IT departments are hungry to run their own IT again. Okay, yeah.
Right. So that's just all wrong, right? And so
that part is wrong.
And it's just like not even.
There are no IT departments anymore.
This is not even me. Like I'm out on a limb here. Like I literally hear all the time. I mean, when the day they announced this, you and me were in a Telegram chat. Like I did a demo for a potential customer the day they announced this open source, and the guy's like, another person on the call was like, "Are we going to host this ourselves or no?" And the IT manager literally says, "It's 2025. We're not hosting this ourselves, right?" So nobody's in the we want to host our own software outside of very, very particular use cases, which do exist, but that's not the standard. That's the non-standard at this point. So anyway, it's fine. So my two minds of it are: one, it's very clear if you know anything about the stuff that they're totally wrong. But on the flip side, I'm of the mind of like, this is great marketing, right? Like, who cares about the truth? Who cares about reality, right? I'm going to go all in with a big stance on something.
Yep.
And if it works, then I'll be a genius and it'll be great. And nobody's even going to remember that I was, obviously lying about certain parts of it. And I'll be richer and famous and great. So that's the other part. That's the part. I don't know if I can go all the way to full on deceit, but I do want to take some parts of this and use it myself for getting out there more
Yeah,
and
see what
being more
you're painting
boisterous.
as deceit, I'm painting as being wrong. I think they were just
Yeah,
wrong. I don't
well,
think
but I
it was like
mean,
I don't think it was I don't think there's a moral component to it.
oh, I don't know. If you say something you know is incorrect, I don't know.
And that's what I'm not ascribing.
Okay,
I agree. If you say something you know is incorrect, that is called a lie.
right.
That part I agree with. I'm not ascribing to them foreknowledge that they knew that IT departments weren't hungry to run their own IT. They may be having with their
But that's
cloud
what they're
exit
saying. They're
conversation.
stating it as truth.
Right. And what I'm saying is they may be
Okay,
having those conversations based on their
but they're
cloud
not.
exit. Well, let me finish. They may be
Okay.
having those conversations
Uh-huh.
based on their cloud exit stance. They may be having IT departments coming to them and saying, "Hey, we want to do this too. We're hungry to do this." And because you're
Okay.
offering SaaS, you may be having
Mm,
IT departments say, "We don't want to do this. We want your
right.
SaaS." And so they
Yeah.
may be receiving different signals than you are. And they're just saying, "Oh, we're having all these conversations. IT departments are
Yeah.
hungry to do this." And you're saying, "Oh, I'm having these. They're not."
Mm,
And so they may be wrong about like
mm,
the broader market, but I don't think
right.
it's malicious.
Yeah, I mean, malicious, I guess, is probably strong. Is it malicious? I don't know. Is it yeah, I don't know. It's the kind of thing that like any market research at all would clear up, right? So like there's clearly no market research. Now, I guess if you want to say is that malicious or not, I don't know. But they could literally go anywhere, any IT publication, anywhere. Like you're not going to find me the chart that's like, oh, the adoption of SaaS and cloud is slowing and people are buying way more on-premise servers. Like it's not a thing.
Yeah, no,
So
I
I
don't
don't know.
believe they did
Like,
any market research. I believe it's
right, yeah.
all
But so I guess
anecdata.
like
And they're getting
does
a lot of input that's like,
to
"Hey, we want to
not
do what you did."
what is it? What's the whole thing with the law? Like ignorance of the law, right, does not preclude you from it and all that stuff, which obviously doesn't
Oh,
apply to
sounds
marketing.
could have been pithy if we had landed it. Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been. No, my brain's not. I haven't been getting as good a rest as I was a couple weeks ago, where I was
You
getting
were
the phrasing
firing,
and the
yeah.
words. Yeah. So I don't know. It's fine. I mean, whatever. I want to take from this to like put yourself out there more, take a big stand. I like that part.
Yes.
And that's fine. I mean, I think the thing that's kind of funny is like they have had like tons and tons of misses, which is also like a thing that I think it cuts both ways. Like nobody ever ascribes any of their misses to them, which I always find hysterical. And when they've been like 90% misses, but I do like that they've taken lots of shots, right? Like they've taken tons of
That's the
shots.
lesson. And that's
Right.
true of everyone. Nobody ascribes the
Yeah.
loss like the misses.
I
Like,
think they're standard bootstrappers though, in that their first thing was their hit. And
yeah.
they've never come close to that ever again. Like they still run Hey at least on like everything else they've ever done. So okay, like presumably Hey
I think
does
Hey is a hit. I think Hey
okay.
makes a lot of
It's like
money.
it's
Yeah.
not worth shutting down level. So
No, I think it
it's
makes a lot
worth
of money.
running. But I think it's tiny compared to Basecamp.
Got it.
So
Because Basecamp's enormous.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. Right. So I think, that's fine. But it's just like they still haven't crossed over to that next level of entrepreneur, which is extremely rare, which is I built two things that were big, right? Even big
I don't
relative to your own
know.
scale.
I
Forget
think
about big $1 billion.
I think Hey compared to anything else is big. It's just being compared to Basecamp is small. I think
Look, but
Hey
that's the
makes
whole
many
thing.
millions of dollars.
Sure. That's exactly my point. Like relative to themselves, it's nothing. They could lose Hey tomorrow. They wouldn't even know. They wouldn't change anything about their lifestyle or how many employees they have or anything.
That's
It
probably
wouldn't
true.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that to me is like, it's not moving the needle would be my guess. Because it's like $99 a year or whatever. Even if they have a bunch of users, it's nowhere near Basecamp, which they have a bunch of people paying them $300 a month or whatever it is, right? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's fine,
Mm,
and I think they like the money, and it's more money, and they like working on it, and they like having their own email client because they don't like other email clients, and that's all great. But I don't think it's anywhere close to Basecamp. So just even relative to themselves, I don't think they've. Again, it's extremely rare. This is not a negative on them. This is like there's a handful of people ever who have done one thing and then sold it or kept running it, and then done a second thing which approaches the first thing. Like it's pretty rare.
yeah, it is pretty rare. I still
Yeah.
think it's impressive. I think they've
Yeah.
got two products that make a ton of money, one that makes the lion's share of it.
It is.
I'm still impressed. I still like them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I guess it's one of those things where like what it's sort of like at the end of the what's the first Bourne movie? Jason Bourne or whatever the first Bourne movie was.
Yeah.
Bourne Identity.
Born
Um,
Supremacy. No, that's probably a
I think
sequel.
that's the Bourne Identity is the first
Yeah,
one,
I think
right?
that's right. I think that's right.
Yeah. And you've seen this movie, right?
I've seen this movie. Oh, my mom loves these movies. My mom loves
Oh,
Jason Bourne. I
yes,
watch
I love
so
your
much Jason
mom. I
Bourne.
love Jason
Jason
Bourne.
Bourne and CSI, whatever. My mom's all over it. And Castle and Bones and all that stuff.
I
Yeah,
don't like any of
I've
those
got all that.
shows, but I like Jason Bourne. So I'm
Jason
with you on the
Bourne's great.
Bourne. So at the end, the other famous actor guy, he's like, look what they make you give, right? Like he gets shot, Jason Bourne shoots him. He's like, look what they make you give. And I always had that little vibe with like 37 Signal stuff, right? Like they're always out there. They're always like, this is the greatest thing ever, right? Until they give up on it. And then you never hear about it again. There's no mea culpa. There's no nothing. This was going to be the new way you're doing IT. Now forget it. It's over. Don't even forget I said that. But they don't even say that, right? Just move on, which is smart, which is how you should do it. So there's a lot of that, like you're putting yourself out there for stuff of I mean, they believed in a lot of things, right? And I don't know. So that part to me is a little feels a little, I don't love the feel of that. I don't know if I can do that myself of like over and over and over, like this is the true religion. And then when it doesn't work, I discard that religion, right? And move on to the next one. That's my beef, whatever. I'm sure, they definitely don't care what I think about it. So it's fine. But I will take the win.
You will
I
take
was
the win.
right.
You got the
I'm
win on
happy.
the business model. The business model does
Yes.
not work. The
There we
market
go.
has spoken. They don't want to self-host, or at least they don't want to self-host this for sure.
Yes. And they claim they're doing more stuff, but I don't think they're doing any more stuff. They have a new thing there, like some kind of Jira thing they're working
Yeah,
on.
I saw that.
guess, or whatever.
Fizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
far,
guess so, yeah.
the UI has not spoken to me, but we'll see what it looks like in the final version.
You know, the thing I actually really enjoy about their UIs, this is what I will give them credit, is
wow, we're doing the flip-flop because I don't like the UI.
Yeah, nobody ever likes any of their UIs, right?
No.
Yeah, it's like universal. Everybody hates all the like professionals hate their UIs, right? But like this is an area where I think they they don't follow the crowd, which
Correct.
is part of their thing, right?
Like
and I think their UIs are often not, I don't find their UIs as bad as most people because I think they try to just make them purely functional and they don't really, I don't know if they would characterize it as they don't worry about the aesthetics, but I think that's my kind of
but that's
take
what
on
comes
it,
across.
Right? Right. That's what comes across. Like they're not worried about
Brutal.
like, oh, the current thing is like, it's all white and gray with
liquid glass,
borders
yeah.
and whatever. Now we'll move on to liquid glass phase. Who knows how that'll impact web development, but the current web development, Shad CN, it's ultra clean, right? They don't ascribe to that. And then they just kind of do their own thing. And it's like, this button's going to be big because it's the most important button. And I don't care if it doesn't perfectly align with the other stuff on the screen or whatever.
Hand-drawn thumbs up button.
It's going to be a hand-drawn thumbs up thing because it'll catch people's eye. And that's like the point of having this button here, right? So I kind of enjoy that part of their stuff. I don't necessarily like love the design of it, but I do get that they're going for like, this is we're just focused on function first. And I do kind of like that. So
yep. No, I like, this is the same reason I like the Cybertruck, even though it's god awfully ugly, is because everyone else is doing the same thing. Everyone else is doing the same thing. And the only thing I respect about the Cybertruck is that it looks different.
So,
and I think that's great. It's hideous and I hate it, but I'm happy.
But see, the thing is that's not the same thing.
It is.
That has no, it isn't, because it's abandoned the function for
just
to
useless,
be different.
Yeah.
Right?
Just
like,
to be different.
You have this big slant in the back. Can I put something across the back? No, I can't.
No,
like,
definitely not.
It's just all this negatives to the form of it just to make it look different, which is kind of the opposite of what I would say 37 Signals is going for, which is like they would be like, not only are we making this truck a normal looking truck shape, but the bed is wood and you can like screw things into it and lock it down, right? And all this stuff. Like, we got all these contraptions and gizmos so that
I think
can
that's
like
Bezos's like modular truck.
Exactly.
It's also not very good looking, but you can like customize every last detail of it, which is cool.
You can like 3D print your parts for it, and it's super cheap, right? Which is, we've gotten to this place where trucks are $90,000, $100,000, but like the whole point of a truck used to be is this total beater that you can just dump dirty shit in the back of it, right? And that was like the whole point of the truck. So
and now trucks are mobile living rooms.
Right, exactly.
It's obscene. Yeah,
it's crazy. So
Whoo!
All right,
We
man.
skated through some DHH and Elon. We got to move on. We're
Whew!
doing
DHH,
great.
Elon, politics. We
Let's
got it
not
all,
let's
and we
not get
haven't
closer to
offended
that.
anyone yet.
No,
All right.
we're just circling the edge of a black hole there. Let's
Other than the
continue.
TypeScript people who are now
Who caught a
fomenting
bunch of
violence
strays?
against
Yeah.
us. Hopefully they're
Sorry,
okay
guys.
with
It
that.
was better than the alternative.
Yeah.
So
All right.
there you go.
I don't know what else. We got a couple other random things here.
Let's end on a
quick
happy
fire.
one.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
end
We're
on a
gonna end
happy
it.
one.
All right.
My mother-in-law wrote a book and published a book. Like, honest to goodness, wrote an entire book. It's published. It's on Amazon. It's selling. They're having book parties to have people come over and do readings.
Okay.
This is the real deal. So here's the deal. The book is
Give me
called
the deal.
This One's for the Girls. So unfortunately, rules us out already, but that's okay. This One's for the Girls.
Mhm.
Subtitle, brace yourself, subtitle, Embracing the Sisterhood of Breast Cancer and the God Who Holds Us Fast.
Wow.
There you go. So my mother-in-law and my mom, both breast cancer survivors.
Wow. Okay.
And so, yeah. So
That's amazing.
her name is Betsy Keith, and you can find it at thisonesforthegirls.com or on a little site called amazon.com. So she wrote this book after going through breast cancer. And it's a lot of like personal stories from friends, medical information, helpful resources, and then like an entire kind of like scriptural like support guidance, that sort of stuff for women that are actively going through breast cancer right now. And so an entire like I'm looking on Amazon.com and it's my mother-in-law's name. Isn't that crazy? And so
That's crazy.
they've been doing book parties where she'll like have friends over. And so my mom and my aunt went to one with a bunch of people, and she does like these little readings and asks questions. And it's apparently going very, very well. Like the book is really selling. And so it's only been published. I don't know when it says, but it was like this year,
just in
June 27th. There you go. So it was published this year. And they're already having to order a reprint because it's actually selling. I know.
It's got 5 stars.
I know.
What more do you want?
So she says, I asked if I could talk about it on the show, and she said yes, and remind people that October coming up is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer throughout their lives. And so if you know someone who's going through this horrible journey, this could be of some comfort. It's called This One's for the Girls.
That's amazing. We actually do know someone who is. This will be great. And like, wow, I love the idea of this kind of book where it's like, for while you're going through something, a helpful guide, not like the preventative thing or like a self-help and that kind of, no, it's like, this is for you right now where you are definitively. And this is going to speak exactly to that. Right. That is so cool. So is she retired or is
she is.
Okay.
Yep. She's she's a stay-at-home mom for a long time. Jennifer's one of 4 girls. They're all grown now. And as I've mentioned before, they all live within a half mile of us, which is amazing. So full-time grandma of like 1 million grandkids and professional published author. She's written this over the past, many years as she's gone through it. And then after, and the opening on the Amazon description, the opening line is, "You have breast cancer." And like, that is the hook. That's the thing when you, when you hear it, you're like, God, what do I do? And this can be of some help. So isn't that crazy?
Wow. That is great. I told Jamie forever she needs to write a book because she has all this whatever. She had a tough childhood. I'll leave it there, but a lot of great stories in there, crazy stories, whether it's a autobiographical or as the foundation for like a fictional universe. I feel like she should write a book, but it's hard to find the time. So this is why I was kind of wondering where she's at, if she works or not, because it's like, you can see I've been leaning on Jamie for like, kids are out of the house in the future. This would be a cool thing to do.
Yeah. That's the time to do it.
Yeah.
And like, well, I remember when my mom went through it, not too long ago. I want to say maybe like 5 or 7 years ago. There really is this weird like community. Like my mom found out that a neighbor down the street had it, and then they were like best friends. My mom's bringing her dinner, and my mom's like, my parents are taking her to get chemo, and it's just like once you go through it, apparently there is this
Yeah.
really, like, you're just in it with these other women. And so this is it's a sad group to be in, but it's nice to
Right.
have some comfort of other people going through that. So y'all
Yeah,
go
for
check it out.
sure.
This one's for the girls.com.
Check it out. Wow, great name. I love the name. I love the
Great
hook.
name. Great
Yeah,
name.
that's
Yeah.
so cool. Published
Yeah.
author. That's like
Isn't that
I know you
crazy?
said you were thinking about doing a book
I'm
at some
still
point.
thinking
That's
about it. I'm trying, man. I know.
that would be a cool thing. I do think there's something about even like this hasn't happened to me in a while, but like way early days of bootstrapping, there was like all these kind of like bootstrapper books and micro ISP
Mhm.
books and whatever. And I was in 4 or 5 of them or whatever. And like it didn't bring any business or anything like that, but it was like, man, this is cool. Like my
Mhm.
name, here's
Mhm.
3 pages about HelpSpot and Ian Landsman, and like just so much more real than like a blog post or
Sure.
someone's social media mention or whatever. It's like, no, somebody like wrote this and gave it to an editor and printed it and shipped
Mhm.
it, and it's like your name and your product is in there. It's like so
Somebody
cool. There,
designed a cover, somebody proofread it,
yeah.
somebody got an ISBN number, and my
Yes,
name
it's
is in there.
so
Yeah.
cool. So I think
It's
like
cool.
being an author would be very cool. Yeah, and your mother-in-law, great cover, by the way. It's the
Great
first thing
cover.
I noticed. I was like, the cover, like, really
Yep.
feel like it stands out. Good. The actual color of the cover is, I
Mhm.
think, good and unique. So yeah, well, good luck to her. Great cause for the book, obviously, and seems like it's going well so far.
It's
So
going great.
very
Yeah.
cool.
Super
Yeah.
pumped for them. So y'all go check it out. Let me know what you think.
All right. Ending on a happy note. I love
Ending
it.
on a happy note. We
Yeah.
love a win.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks to the sponsors, mostlytechnical.com. Check out the old episodes where you can hear how I'm right about everything. And and make sure to sponsor the show. And we will see you next week. Thanks, everybody.
Ian's never right. See ya.
Bye.